with plenty lie inside. Then now, na the term for strip the headlines bare and tell the story just like it is. Brutally frank goes where others won't, exposing the real stories behind the headlines.
We tackle issues of maximum importance to the growth of Sierra Leone, from politics to the economy, agriculture, education, health, and tourism,
by serving as your voice in asking the why, where, how, and when questions to the people them we responsible. This na brutally frank.
This is Brutally Frank,
showing every Sunday.
Good evening, Sierra Leone. Today, we want to confront a decision we certainly get for reach every petrol station. It get for reach every market, then certainly get for touch every family inside the country. A fourth fuel price increase inside just over 3 years. Now we're in 2026. Now, the initial 3 hikes them, these are things that we be already don't test the limit of Sierra Leonean, everyday Sierra Leoneans. This fourth one, governments don't continue to argue that it is something that is just unavoidable. But on the other hand, the opposition seems to get a different opinion. Because according to the opposition, there is so much where the government able to do for cushioning the whole price hikes, especially when it relates to fuel, that they are not doing. Hence the reason why every other time we get this kind of increment, where certainly they affect every aspect of our lives them. Tonight we want to ask a question and maybe deal with the facts. Waiting are some of the real effects them on transportation, food, or even electricity. The cushions measures them where government don't put in place. How effective are they? Or maybe let's start from a simpler question. Waiting are then cushioning methods then they way government don't put in place. Are those measures working for the everyday Sierra Leonean? Are they protecting the most vulnerable in our society? For answer these questions tonight, viewers, I will be joined by Abubakar Darami, who is a former Western Region spokesperson for the All People's Congress. Abubakar Darami will bring to the floor the opposition their own perspective, and obviously critique the alternative and the argument where governments they put forward. On the government side, we'll be joined by Mohammed Jawad Nali, who is a strategic communication advisor now the Ministry of Information. Of course, Mohammed will explain Giwi tonight and defend the government's then position that this, at this particular time, is just unavoidable. Not a thing where you're able to do any other kind way. And that the price in itself is a reflection of government lobbying and so many hard work where governments don't they put in on the sidelines for ensure that, yes, there will be a hike, but the hike not will be in such a way that it kills everyday Sierra Leoneans. And they're saying that they're monitoring the whole situation closely. And above all, that everything they under control. So viewers, welcome to No Man's Land. Welcome to Brutally Frank. Like always, I am your host, James Watchin. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll get brutal with the facts.
Tell the story just like it is. Brutally frank goes where others won't, exposing the real stories behind the headlines.
We tackle issues of maximum importance to the growth of Sierra Leone, from politics to the economy, agriculture, education, health, and tourism,
by serving as your voice in asking the why, where, how, and when questions to the people them we responsible. This na Brutally Frank.
This is Brutally Frank,
showing every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Slik TV, channel 37, and streaming live on our Facebook page and official website. You don't tire for your boku talk with no substance, or sweet talk with plenty lie inside. Then now, na the term for strip the headlines bare and tell the story just like it is. Brutally frank goes where others won't, exposing the real stories behind the headlines.
We tackle issues of maximum importance to the growth of Sierra Leone, from politics to the economy, agriculture, education, health, and tourism.
By serving as your voice in asking the why, where, how, and when questions to the people them we responsible.
This na Brutally Frank.
This is Brutally Frank,
Showing every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Slik TV, channel 37, and streaming live on our Facebook page and official website.
You don't tire for your boku talk with no substance or sweet talk with plenty lie inside. Then now, na the time for strip the headlines bare and tell the story just like it is. Brutally Frank goes where others won't, exposing the real stories behind the headlines.
We tackle issues of maximum importance to the growth of Sierra Leone, from politics to the economy, agriculture, education, health, and tourism.
By serving as your voice in asking the why, where, how, and when questions to the people them we responsible.
This na Brutally Frank.
Like it, I go wait for you, make you decide. I not go fast, I go beg for no when you decide.
Yo, what's up? This is incredible JJ who does that. I'm live on Slik TV, channel 37. Tune into Slik TV, channel 37. Best for Salon, best for you, best for me, best for we all. Who does that?
Me have money, me honey bee. Make we go, LLE. Me I need for the gloves to somebody. Oh, me sweet cassava leaf. I cannot leave if I not get you.
Hey, okay. Stasha, baby. Hey,
it's Jewies on the beat.
Hey, where I'm from, Appadon. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit. Represent who you with. Hey, where I'm from, Appadon. I get that money, hit the city, then I'm gone. Hey, we legit, we hella lit.
With over 37 reasons, over 37 concepts, over 37 days.
You don't tire for your boku talk with no substance or sweet talk with plenty lie inside. Then now, na the time for strip the headlines bare and tell the story just like it is. Brutally Frank goes where.
Okay, welcome back. If you just did join me, the program where you watch now Brutally Frank, where they come to you live here on Slik TV, channel 37. Tonight on the show, we want to talk about fuel price increase and the effect we get on everyday Sierra Leonean. If you just did join me, you can able follow me live at our Facebook page at Slik TV, or you can as well watch me live at our Epic Radio page at Epic Radio. Tonight, for further this discussion on the government side, I'm being joined by Mohammed Jawad Nyale, we're a strategic communication advisor at the Ministry of Information. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Council. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I think this is the first time we're hosting you here.
Yes, this is the first time on this particular show.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, I've done on several other shows here as well.
Okay, well, just as what we can do for every first timer, please feel free for be brutal with the facts, because that's what we're about, Brutally Frank.
No problem.
Okay, so let's get it going. We also will be joined by Abubakar Darami, we're a former Western Region spokesperson for the All People's Congress, for further the discussion. But he's not here yet, so we will start with Jawad. This is 2026. Field Day at the very heart of everything we get for what we do in our salon. Food, transportation, light business, road, water, everything. This is coming at a time when people, they under immense pressure financially. And it's not unique to Sierra Leone, it's all around the world. An increment in fuel price. Would you say that is a wise decision, considering the timing?
Well, it is a wise decision, because if you pay attention, just like we don't mention, globally across the world, there isn't a single advanced economy or an economy within like we own in the world we don't take this particular decision. I mean, the only thing we will measure is the scale of how they're going to take the decision. For example, we know that in very far advanced economies, the situation is even far more brutal and far more consequential in terms of price hikes compared to us, in terms of the impact we don't get compared to us. And but generally across the board, at a time like this, it is difficult for any country in the world not for raise prices. But the reason why that is important as well is because in a sector like this, Salonia, the government's not a player in the sector. Now, private sector led, private sector driven sector, the petroleum sector generally. So because of that as well, there is an incentive for we as a government for make sure, whilst we protect people, for make them able to afford as well, but we also get an equal responsibility as well for make sure, say, then Sierra Leone, we don't invest in the petroleum sector as well. At the very least, let them be able to be liquid enough for continue the business. Because if we don't do that, and God forbid they go out of business, God forbid them fail at a time like this, their businesses are going to close, they are going to default on loans, then therefore lay off people, and but the bigger consequence is also availability. Because right now the problem with marketers in the face is that, take for example insurance. Before now, insurance for any of them cargo, then where they come, where they pass through the Strait of Hormuz, they will charge between 0.2 to 0.5% of the total value of that particular vessel. But now, that insurance cost don't go as high as 1% of the vessel. So if you are bringing a $120 million vessel, you are paying close to $1.2 million just on insurance.
I don't know if you don't follow on this from this, maybe just as because you make reference now to other countries. Then amid the tensions now of this Iran war and all of which, amidst these tensions, Ghana able to secure a fuel supply with 320,000 barrel Russian shipments. Now, whilst this is going on, similarly, they're able to put in measures them will ensure, say, it not really affect how then they do retail selling of fuel. Similarly, in Guinea as well.
Yeah.
Similarly, in Liberia.
Let me just come back.
Waiting make we own case different.
Let's just go to those references that you are making. Take, for example, Ghana, where you mentioned, right? Ghana and fuel don't go up close to we own, around 50-55%. But apart from that as well, they are oil-producing nation, so they have something to bargain with. But apart from the fact that they are oil-producing nation as well, then get something they call like a trust fund of some sort. With an oil revenue, they go into that trust fund. So at a time like this, then get some excess cash where they will reinvest and get vessels for camp. But even though then they produce oil as well, they are huge importers as well. But also you have to consider from country to country with specific situation then different. Whether it's consumption pattern, whether it's the petroleum infrastructure within a country then they, or just the regulations around waiting and get, or just the issue of liquidity as well. So these are all the factors from one country to another where the impacts that situation. So now in make, for example, you go see different countries get different approach and different measures they would don't take based on waiting will fit their own condition. And in we own case here, we not get as much resources as those countries, for example, like Ghana, we don't mention as well, for do that. But nevertheless, even with the little what we get, we are trying very, very hard for make sure the first thing right now will affect for make sure and guarantee that the products not even shorting.
Yeah, you know,
because that's the worst case scenario here. It's very important for mention that because if we don't solve that particular problem there, right, we could get to a point, God forbid, where we are talking about we get money safe, but we can't go and buy anymore because we can't afford it. And that's the worst case scenario that we don't want to even get to that. So when you see, for example, we and oil marketers were constantly negotiating to push the price up or down and see where we can come in and where Densef can also come in. It is based on all in context that I don't set. Because if you don't do it that way, it's going to be a much, much more bigger problem down the road.
While I do agree with you in terms of the context, I think it's on that very, very context where I want to premise this next question on the fact that you talked about all the things them countries they do. We help them for keep things balanced, more or less, or keep their ships steady. away from the variable way now oil producing country, we don't inside we own equation. Why aren't we doing all of the others? Say, for example, the trust funding.
No, so 3-4 years ago, in fact, the reason why we are in a situation where the good thing we go say we don't have a shortage for now. We have enough stock. So based
is there a specific number of how much fuel we get in the country?
No, I wouldn't know that for sure. But waiting we know for sure. Waiting we know for sure based on Minister of Trade and Oil Markets. I don't tell you as well. Based on the storage capacity we get 45-50 days, as far as 50
okay, Jawad, I think,
right? So based on those estimations and based on the capacity we get, 3 years ago, that would have been impossible because we didn't have the storage capacity at the time. So we have done some, but we also agree that we're not able to do all yet because, like I say, one of the things as well what this also exposed me to as well, it's also the vulnerability of the oil market in the country as well. We have a lot of players, but along the value chain as well, there is also...
Are we on top of this situation?
No, we are on top of the situation.
I'm talking about government, whether government really is on top.
We are on top of the situation.
You know why I asked that, Jawad? Because you talked about at least let the commodity day in country enough.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Trade, I mean, I think it was a joint press conference, in fact, that they did. And they made some very specific statements, highlighting series of facts in terms of how much products they in the country, how long that product they last, and all of it. This now one kind strong assurance we then give. But not even 2 weeks after, it's like they're reneging on that assurance. They without really, there is no anything we're massively changing country. Why we say the initial dates where you give we say we had enough fuel in country, you mentioned it, from this time to this time, and the assurance was really strong on between this period nothing is going to change cost-wise. But now something don't change cost-wise.
No, if you go back to that statement we referred to in a press conference or host, it predicated on the press release will be on pull days before that.
Okay.
And at that time we'll pull our press release. We did announce, I think it was in mid-March, we did announce that this price will be pulled now. We therefore put them and fix them for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, we will come back and review it. Okay. So if you go back and listen to what the Minister of Trade be saying, he was saying, yes, there is products, but in terms of pricing, in this 2 weeks window, we are going to manage and keep the price that way. And after that, we will come back and now pay attention to the price market and see what has changed. Because the reason why the Minister of Trade at the time said that, and the reason why we also go continue for this, even with the latest press release, we put a window of 2 weeks, is that it's not necessarily just about availability, right? The pricing as well has to be right. Because what is happening now, and this is why I feel very sorry for oil marketers, is because the price keeps changing almost every single day from the suppliers because of all of them variables there, because of all of them factors there. So even when we set it 2 weeks, it come at enormous pain to them.
Okay.
But also we manage for set 2 weeks because we want some form of predictability in the market. Because that uncertainty, like what you say no more, will get an impact on everything. You know, for waking up morning, today you pay 5 millions for go, tomorrow you pay 7 millions, tomorrow you pay 8 millions because we are changing the price every single day.
Okay, we'll come back to that. But now we've been joined by Boubacar Darami, we're a former Western Region spokesperson for the All People's Congress. The All People's Congress are the main opposition party in Parliament, in the country actually. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening to viewers.
Okay, and we're happy to have you. I think this is the first time as well we're hosting you on Brutally Frank, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, good. So I think I'll just do our normal routine. I did it with Jawad. Please feel free to be brutal with the facts, because that's what we're about. Brutally frank. On that note, as a former APC spokesperson, Una Party don't criticize this whole idea of government. In fact, it's not just even about this increment now, but every other increment where governments don't do. Because according to Una, there are so many other things that we can fix instead of every time we just jump to changing the price. The question really is, what's different? Do you see anything different with this most recent price increment, this one in 2026? Or can we just say not just the same thing as you guys have pointed out before, that na poor management and nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you very much. You asked me for that be brutally frank with everything.
Exactly.
And I love the name of the program. I'm part of the communications team for the People's Congress Party, and I want Portugal to speak on the fuel from 2018 to date. The first time we increased fuel from 6,000 to 8,000, I come out and talk to government and advise them. Say if we not continue for the increased fuel, now the driver of the economy. If we, at the time they move on to 8,000, I said if we not move fuel from 8,000 to 10,000, I said the dollar go follow and we go come on 800,000 for $100, go 1 million. When I go to 12,000, go 1,200,000, 15,000 go 1,500,000, so on and so forth. Anytime I move on, now down they reflect with the dollar. As the fuel may be about 25,000, then the dollar may be about 23,000, almost 24,000. Between you and I think this is bad management and it's bad governance. Let me come to the current situation we deal with the fuel price. First of all, the storage in the country, we get more than enough storage. And none of this storage, none of this tank, they're not on build any tank, any new tank within the last 10 years. Tanks have been repaired within the last 10 years or 8 years, I understand. But all the storage tanks, we have a capacity of 230,000 metric tons for store fuel in this country. And we usage per month is about 18 to 20,000 metric tons, which means if we flop with tank, we fuel tank, we storage tanks, we no need for buy fuel for the next 1 year. I want to make you understand that storage not a problem in this country. Now we come to this problem. The same way the Ukraine-Russia Fed start, when they begin increasing fuel, I come back and advise government. They move them from 12,000 to 15,000. Salon, let we left for make like say now we dey between them country, how we the feds. Now we dey make like say we are Salon day between Iran and Israel, which is completely wrong and unfair. We then we get neighboring countries them. We're not Guinea and Liberia. For the past first of all, Guinea. For the past 8 years, Guinea only don't increase fuel from 10,000 francs to 12,000 francs. Inside 8 years. Liberia, the fuel is stable day. You understand? But Salon, every time where we ready, we begin to compare. We say, we tell like so they go find trouble, they draw ourselves near the trouble, we something good, we they push ourselves far away from us. Then we come to this current fuel price increase. When you look at the pricing formula from PRA, I've been bringing to the last time. I don't know if I get one. I can put them up let people and see the current pricing formula. But 55% of that pricing formula not get nothing for do with the plats. It not get nothing for do with the freights. It not get nothing for do with the insurance. Okay. Let me tell you, I'm a fuel dealer, right? I understand what it is. When you go buy fuel, first of all, the fuel dealers who get at this country, I'll tell the government, maybe they don't understand. They are not serious, with the exception of Leonco. Okay. When I mean they are not serious, for example, if they count fuel in country, some of them vessels there they get 60,000, 80,000 metric tons. If you count with fuel, you go buy 3,000 metric tons, you bring and come. The transportation cost and insurance is the same. Say you pay 100,000 for transport and come. Another person go buy 2,000 metric ton. Check with all the oil marketers for the past 4 years. Who's one long car with more than 5,000 metric ton. So you bring the same fuel. You they pay the same transport cost. So if one person pays 5,000, again for pay the same transport cost and insurance. Other person go bring 3,000 metric ton, they pay the same transport and insurance. So if you get 10 imports on 30,000 metric ton, you find out say the transportation costs 10 times on and that cost. The insurance costs 10 times on that cost.
Have you paid mind to that? I mean, have you paid mind to the the international factors them, albeit negative? We ultimately, and that's the argument where government don't put forward, that there are just so many factors when not directly they under their control in terms of regulation and otherwise. For example, they cannot set the price at which oil people in this country they buy oil from other countries. That is between them and the people.
My brother, down there they say completely correct. Not so down there the question. Okay. The price is not being set by Sierra Leonean or Sierra Leone government. That price is there. But they tell you say if you get for just like you the command and go PZ. You take pay transport here, you go PZ, you go buy pepper, you come. You pay transport, you go buy one diamond, you come. You pay transport, you go buy milk, you come. You pay transport, you go buy sus, you come. You pay transport, you go buy water, you come. You understand? Almost transport you don't pay. Why you you know they pay one transport, you go, you buy all them things and then you come. Now that day they happen, that is something they can control.
Yeah, but
hold on. Okay. Check with, let me just land just a second. Check with all the oil marketers. I bet you, check government, which oil marketer don't count more than 5,000 metric tons within the last 5 years. These are mediocres. So because of that transport cost and the other upon the fuel, then they make the fuel go up. That is 1. 2. On the pricing formula from PRA, my brother, this is like crisis. Let me sorry for we people. When you look at the pricing formula, the flat price, that one they know the change. Then the world market price. The transportation cost, that one they may you know the change. And so long government not get ship. We allow them for pass. The insurance, we allow them for pass on that. You get for pay and that are the freight and insurance. But my brother, they get jetty charge. The jetty then at this country. Now Salon government get her. The list to people and they pay for them. The storage, now Salon government own them. On the Ministry of State, we they pay for them. Then they pay for landing charge. Then they pay environmental charge. Then they pay a freight levy charge. Then they pay marketing charge. Then they market fuel in this country. When you want fuel, you know station the way for go. When you look at the pricing formula, these are things government can pull. Excise duty on that one is 5%. You understand? When you look at all the mediocre charges, about 55% of the pricing formula, not to the flat price or the freight or premium where they carry it.
Okay.
So that is my argument.
Okay,
so what you mean they say is they can cushion the 1 minute for the timing. When this problem though, we not say this war with Iran and Israel, it takes 2 months. I mean, don't talk on our station here. Okay. When they don't, government can cripple and come back in.
Jawad, from Darami, all the points the way they make, now the fact that there is so much way a serious government for don't able to do in these circumstances, and the fact that you guys are not doing them, it's like willful neglect. You just want for pressure the people and for nothing. What would you say to that?
The program in name brutally frank. So let's just be brutal with the facts. Liberia for say, oh, the price now Liberia is okay. You have to just go back on Saturday. I think yesterday was Saturday, right? They had an increase in prices. Okay. But also, like I tell you, all of them situation they are just therefore depend on a number of other factors. For example, storage capacity, liquidity. The market demand in those countries as well, and how much they do also have in their reserves. So from one country to another, the impact and how they go really deal with those issues are quite completely different. They don't talk a lot about the formula. In fact, I know a very simplistic for say no more. Oh, this is not for the formula. 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 But it's not as simple as they say. In fact, things like worries, for example, at some point we had to remove it in the formula. But you also have to know how is this formula developed. That's a curious question where everybody needs to know. A formula is not just developed by governments. It's developed by World Bank, by oil marketers, by government. All of these people are on the table, and then they agree. Say, okay, let's set these formulas, and then let's put that line there in the formula, and then formula there, and then they have a variation that okay. If we calculate all of them variation there, at a certain point, it go 5% above all of them things there, then we can now come back and increase the price. If you go, let's say for example, if you come 5% below there, we can come back and review the price. So all of those points the way they make, it also very, very unfortunate to oil marketers because
on the World Bank, let's tell me what's in the World Bank. You input for that formula. I want to publish the formula. I can give you not to me do an appearance.
Let me finish this. It's very also unfortunate of how it rubbish the efforts we oil marketers and they make.
I'm not rubbish. I'm just being serious. They're not serious about it.
No, you can't say that.
I will.
Gentlemen.
It's quite unfortunate. Look. These are Sierra Leoneans. We don't invest their money, and they defend way for growth and businesses. They are employing people. They are opening stations across the country at very difficult times where we get crisis. We don't get global crisis, for example, whether not the COVID, whether not the Ukraine war, whether not this current war. Under all of those circumstances, they've tried their utmost best for make sure their products are available in the market and they are selling, knowing as well the power they have that they could say, okay, you know what, we could just keep it. But also, even in these negotiations, right, I was in the room for like 5 hours on I think Friday or so when we make the announcement. The negotiations were so serious because there are price points that they want as well for keeping them businesses viable at the end of this. Where government can't give them because of the impact it could have on the people.
How would you speak to?
But the reason why I highlight all of this, I want everybody also pay attention to how much everybody in this negotiation is giving away. Government is giving away something. the oil marketers are giving away something, because at some point we have to reach a balance as well for protecting people.
How do you speak to people then we get the notion that governments, from all of the arguments, seem for they take more or less the position of independent oil marketers over and beyond the reality of everyday Sierra Leoneans?
No.
Because if you say they are suffering, they are going out a lot of hard for them.
No, you know why this is important? For the longest of time in this country, every time fuel go up, it's so easy for throw them under the bus. But like I say, now more than ever as well, but like I say, government and we na Kumra, and as a Kumra, we get responsibility to everybody. We get responsibility to the people. And our responsibility now make us say, okay, you know what? We can't give this much away, but we can come in with some form of subsidy.
Okay.
That's one of the measures. One
so
of several other measures.
Is subsidizing basically?
Yeah, subsidizing.
What's the percentage?
On petrol right now, on every liter, we are subsidizing 1.10 leons per liter. And then on diesel, we are subsidizing 4.26 leons per liter. If we not been do that, the price right now for them be around 36 leons 10 cents for petrol, and for diesel it for them be 44 leons 60 something cents, 60 cents I think also. And we are subsidizing, but that subsidy, why don't the reason why we do it like where you say, we also have a duty to protect the people.
Okay.
And that protection there as well, once we put that subsidy there as well, we put a price cap, and then we put a fixed period that inside these 2 weeks, we want to keep the price this way. And after 2 weeks as well, take into consideration every day, we are meeting for pay attention to the market's forces. Every single week as well, they are also meeting for see what are we going to do next before we even get to the 2 weeks period and review prices.
So just for additional clarity, before I bring Darami inside, you've referenced a 2-week period for which government will introduce this 1.10 and 4.260 subsidy on petrol and that of diesel. When that 2 weeks they start for count, we don't go in the 2 weeks or the 2 weeks not
as at the time we announce
the increment to 35.
Which is the 2nd of April. Today I think is the 4th or 5th.
Today is the 5th.
Today is the 5th. So as at the time we announce, yes.
Okay, so
that has taken effect.
Darami, I mean, Jawad is saying that they don't even go to the extent for ensure say they subsidize just for pull the burden on the shoulder of the everyday person that they're able to get by. That is one. Don't you think this is step enough, given the economic situation and things like that? And how would you speak to the Jawad just mentioned that the pricing formula, we initially you say government gets so much control over, government not get control over.
Okay, clear, come in. The pricing formula is not being made by me. Now I make a publish and so the last one I put them up. It's being made by PRA when a government institution. The only thing hold on, I allowed you.
It's not
they meet PRA they meet with all the players then now PRA they pull it. Hold on, Jawad, hold on. I've been in government before, I've been in this.
No,
the only pathway World Bank gets on this
oversimplification
the only pathway government. Hey Jawad, I guess I should be protected. If I'm not being protected, I'll do the same to you and you will not like it.
You are protected.
Okay. The only part on the pricing formula where World Bank they dictate to. Now that pricing formula.
I'm not sure that.
Hold on. I've been in government before. The only part where World Bank they contribute to, they dictate to now that pricing formula. Now the excise duty when at 5% inside the pricing formula. This one where they talk about the pricing formula, not to make an appear they sit down with all the oil marketers and everybody and then publish them. Now they say there are things they wait for take, but with the fuel prices, I mean, they say that they subsidize. When the war started from with Israel and Iran, right? Fuel at the time was $78 per barrel. Presently now, it's about $110 per barrel. So the increase in fuel, right, don't go up by until like 17 to 18%. So if you don't go up by 17 to 18%, you expect say it should be related to the price of the go up. But in country, before this war they start, the price was about 25,000 leons. Now it already 40. When you calculate 25 to 40, you're talking about something about...
Are we talking about petrol?
I'm talking about diesel.
Diesel, okay.
It's all fuel because diesel now...
Yes.
We use 80% of diesel more than petrol in this country.
Okay.
Diesel don't go to 40,000. So you look at it, it's almost about 45% increase. So if the increase should be related to the plat price.
Yeah, but
hold on, sir.
All right.
Hold on, sir. In the pricing formula, back, we're not to me pool. Jetty charge is the same. Port charge is the same. Excise duty is 5%. Freight charge is the same. Insurance charge is the same. And my brother Jawad said the supply way day. If for last week for 50 days, then they make like say every net 9 and they can't pump here and then tank. So the order we don't buy the last 50 days. 9 and they sell. Why don't they increase the price every 2-3 days? In a war where don't last for a month, inside 1 month, they increase fuel price 3 times.
Okay.
You understand? So if you don't talk about the fuel price and the price formula now publish, let public see.
The pricing formula is on the screen.
Yes, not to me make them. This is not PR make them. Now that's all the oil marketers. Me the degrade we brought out the way into fuel. But I want us to be serious. Don't take formulas and approach where other countries than they do. If you never bring 50-60,000 metric tons, let them get on all together. You want 3,000, that one 4,000, this one 5,000. Then put on an LC together. They use one vessel for face cam, the fuel, then pump into everybody in tank, in storage tank. Then when I use an off-takers on a petrol station, simple, this is the model where they use. Nagini, where don't they work for them with Sonap? I've been working with Sonap, so understand what they talk about fuel. So in the pricing formula, always when they ask government, do ya? Sorry for we the people, and now let me tell you what's going to happen. Every goods and services to go. The other day I decided to take keke from New England for go Tong. I pay 12 million go Tong. Why they come? I get for pay 15 million. Say what they pay 3,000 or 4,000 leons. So you find out say the burden comes back to the people. The value of the currency will be devalued. I mean, cost goods and services. The people are not able to reach, and so the small salaries really people that they get. It don't mean nothing to them. Okay. I see the other day the government they jump say, oh, they increase salary minimum wage to 1,200,000. 1,200,000 for God and heaven's sake. If you get for go work, you get for spend minimum 50,000 for go work for day. Say 20 days, 9 days inside the 1 whole month. The balance 10 day na weekend. So if I now say you don't spend 1 million, you don't buy a restaurant. You not take care of your bikini day too. You not do anything, just transportation. So this is a serious problem. It is not about APCS. So, we they bring solutions and let government look at them and see how then they pull most of these things in the charges in the pricing formula. Let government just suspend. They left the one the way the neighbor for touch, like the excise duty and the other one same. When the war done, and cripple them back coming. That's all we asking for.
On the point, and this is I think that's the point of divergence.
But look at the percentage of increase.
I want
to pay attention to the brutally frank.
We will. The point of divergence now the fact that Jawad is saying that the things them where you reference is not giving the broader picture. That you are only picking out 1 or 2 things of convenience and leaving out the rest and just focusing on them.
In the pricing formula, talks in the plat price, you cannot change it. Good. The freight price, you cannot change it. Excise duty, you cannot change it. Insurance, you cannot change it. The things that they can change, jetty charge. Now we get the jetty and Salon government. Storage charge, the tank. Marketing for market fuel, the exchange rate for levy, these are things that they could take
so
out.
Let's come back to the question where I want for us.
The
question where I want to ask Darami, the fact that you've given this brilliant analysis on how to manage the status quo. But there, the question is, when the oil marketers, they go back for go buy, after we then go down sell the current stock when they get in store, notwithstanding that they not buy them at today's value, whether they go back for go buy other one, now the market price now, not to in order for reflect to say, oh, we maintain the price, so we sell low. So that's something. My question is,
between if that's where government subsidies, okay, done.
Then are the arguments you get. Let's say the roles are reversed and you are government now. How would you handle this situation now? And assuring, first of all, the oil marketers and we certainly when they go now for global field, get for spend more. Where are they getting that extra day that they're going to spend? How would you solve that problem?
Okay, thank you very much. Brilliant question. You keep the price at the same rate, right? Then sell it in and get presently, when they're ready for go buy, they know they go buy with cash. They know they go pay cash for go oil and fuel. Then they use LC. And when they use LC, they charge them for that. They use real local banks them, whether local commercial bank or salon commercial bank, for use LC. Sometimes now 60 days LC, 45 days LC. Sometimes in some cases, then they use 90 days, which means then they send the products.
Financial
yes, sir.
institutions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That.
Salon commercial bank can. They have a subsidiary bank in Germany. I know it's here they talk.
Okay.
When they when they present this LC, when then they pay back, when then they service this LC after 45 days, all these subsidy where government they go and either in a corner say they do, that's where you can come in and pushing them to subsidize.
When there is a mad rush and all of these oil marketers, they go in for LC, they go in for LC. Do we have the capacity? Realistically.
We do. That I'll tell you. And let me tell you, my brother, we utilization 18 to 20,000 metric tons. Guinea, they utilize 120,000 metric tons per month. You understand? 6 times of what we use. And then storage capacity 97,000 metric tons. So Guinea is forced for make importation 3 times a month. Okay. We get enough storage here. So all I'm saying is, we can use the LC, we use the banks. Governments come in, they understand the price at which they don't sell. Government come in, that's where the subsidy comes in. You cushion the oil marketers, the one they import. You understand? To PR. But for say, when they go buy in a pump, how then do inside the pricing formula? How then they go pay for marketing fuel? Una way they don't want the campaign una associate una market diesel or petrol. So all the things that's happening, electricity bill they can go up. Okay. Because all the independent power providers, I tell you so they machine say, if they can't go up, transportation, what can find all the rest go. So it's burden on the people.
Darami is saying that one, the money day. The covering day, the capacity day. It's just this thing of why not one do it.
Okay, so I think, Mr. Daram, you know, it probably they try for minimize the scale of the challenge where we go through right now. And I'm not just talking about Salon, globally. Globally, and the thing where they also mention constantly go back, oh, okay, look at the price of the crude oil, and then the percentage of increase compared to the percentage of increase here. What he's not taking into account is all the other variables with the between the crude oil price and to the time where they reach now and to the time where they offload. Every cost in between has either doubled or in some cases even tripled.
Okay.
And in between them factor and the oil and things then we first take into consideration. In fact, the worst thing that is happening now is that oil marketers here, they have money, they want to buy, but then suppliers they are now thinking about choosing other destinations where there is a higher demand and there is a better pay compared to saloon markets. But all of that as well, they are being priced out, and that's just the reality. So what he is also not taking into consideration is that, oh, Lord, do this, Lord, do this, Lord, do this, Lord, do this. If you do all of that, it still doesn't come back to the point as in when they sell done, you have to ask yourself the question, can they afford to buy back? That's the question he is not answering in his own analysis.
No, but I think that's what he
I'm coming back to the
because
what is also happening
like that.
All the timeline they give, do this 40 days, do this 45 days. The market is so volatile that predictability where you be rely on. For say if you put an LC in 40, 45 days, it will not mature and it pay for you. That predictability has gone out of the window. Because, of course, because prices are changing almost every other day. The cost of transporting is changing all over. In fact, the other day I was speaking to the NP CEO and he was saying the price where they use for go buy. Okay. They want to say tomorrow when you go for go buy, for example, if you go on go buy to the 1,000, tomorrow you go buy now 1,200. Next tomorrow they go 1,500. The other day they go 1,800. But then they also, not just they eat into their margins. When they buy those products as well, they have to transport it. Let's say, for example, they get for tank, you get tank drivers, for example, which is a whole subset industry. Tanker drivers where they move transportation. Even when diesel price don't go up so right now, then they pay them by liter for their transport. Then price their margin will go up yet. And oil markets are now dealing with another whole set of crises. That
so most of these points.
So I'm saying as well, most of these points, you know, I make at the raise them as well. I tell you as how much it eats into the profit margin. But it's not just eating into the profit margin as well. There's also threat of sustainability of these businesses as well. So if you not push and manage and create this subsidy or negotiate with them and una put these ways possible for let go, we are talking about a whole new problem, which is unavailability.
All of these points that you just made, I think I'm thinking, we can predicate them on the aspect of the maybe, due to the international changes and waiting, this and this might happen. But the question is, with waiting you just say, is it not like government is much more concerned of waiting might happen, than really protecting the people now with what is going on now, every day now?
Okay, so
because that's...
Well, let me come back to that particular. I want to let me just address a quick point.
Go on.
I mean, me also petroleum dealer, so I would not necessarily have an insight into which one part level they use. But if you say, for example, they are not doing marketing, that's not true, because you have more than 8 oil marketers or so, maybe even more than that. Which they all have budgets for marketing, CSR, for example. I mean, just last week, President Julius Maada Bio opened a whole bunch unit that was done by Leonco and NP combined together, and I mean, thousands or possibly $1 million or $2 million could all go into investment like that as well, when at their own CSR. But away from that as well, on your question about what is happening now, we as a country, as a government, we get a long-term vision. That long-term vision, let's take you back to the previous 2 crises then, where we don't go through, whether COVID or Ukraine-Russia war. When those crises they happen, of course, when crisis happen, there is a mad rush for one, deal with the problem with it now, but also as a government, you have to also be able to prevent a problem with the can tomorrow, or put yourself in a position that problem we can tomorrow, you avoid them. When COVID hit in here, the problem that we had and the concerns that we had was availability of commodities, rice, sugar, petroleum products and other things as well. We put measures in place throughout that COVID crisis for make sure these things, they're not shorting. But also the measures and the ways to protect the people. The only way where private sector will thrive and survive at that particular difficult time in the long run, now because of those policies.
In January.
Because if you don't do that, what is going to happen is that the private sector will always try for enable, for make them grow, for make them employ more people. They will be decimated.
In January of this 2026, NPRA, they raised the ceiling by 1.1 leons.
Yeah.
Then they say it come now to 28.50 per litre. So. And at that point, they cited global market forces and forex dynamics. This was long.
And after the film, the price will
this was long. This was long before we get the Ukraine, Ukraine and even Iran.
Iran was,
on the 7th of March, there was yet another hike from 28.50 to 32 per litre.
Yeah.
So let me just land.
It's important for separating hike and day because all the hike then they get their own exigent circumstances. Okay, go on.
Good. Now, at this particular time, the argument was, of course, the war in Iran and so many other things happening in the world. Now, this was on the 7th of March. On the 16th of March, diesel rates go up from 35 per litre to now 40. Yeah? At this time, the argument is, now the Gulf region tensions. I tell you why I'm asking this, and really emphasizing on the dates and the proximity. For a government where they claim forgets this kind of foresight and day on top situation, you guys are basically, it seems like they even struggle for within 2 weeks. Every other Friday, we are expecting a bonanza in terms of the price from government. Can you say we really get this thing under control?
Yes, we do. In fact, because we do we constantly meet with all of these players. You have to know that before now, the review of prices basically will just be after every month. We look at all the indicators. So, for example, the price with the quote, so the price hike in January from 25 to 28 was basically a review that was done after the whole year done. In fact, there was even some pressure. Say, no, raise until December. I said, no, let's wait till the year done, and then we'll go into January, and then we'll look at it and say, okay, I think it's fair enough that you raise the price a bit, right? And then we'll raise up to 28. But then what we didn't foresee was a war happening. And because of that war, it means, and because of how fast the prices are changing, but it's not just the prices as well. Every other thing in between the supply chain is also changing, from labor to insurance to cost of transportation and every other thing as well, even to liquidity as well. It means that we can't wait anymore for one more month, because the risk of waiting for one more month is that by the time you wait for one more month, so much will not happen, and that the hike might be so huge that the economy not going to take that particular shock there. So the strategy is you come back, you look, and you raise it by some percentage points. You come back, you look, if necessary, you raise it by some percentage points. And we don't come back and look, in fact, this last Friday now and say, you know what, we are going to raise it by some percentage points, but also we think it's time now for the government intervene further, and then we introduce the subsidy as well as the cushion.
Thank you. Darami, in 2020, we had the pre-COVID situation in the country. That in the early part of 2020. By April of the same 2020, there was a global oil crash due to COVID and the impact and the effects them and the likes. In 2021, there was a gradual recovery in terms of recovery from COVID and all other monetary policies the government put in place. We get with the new depreciation. In 2022, we get the first major post-COVID hike. We lead to protests, deaths, and the likes. In 2023, we get the second hike. We also was joined by a subsidy removal on the part of government. Further, we get the third hike in 2024. Usai, we now see full subsidy elimination. This was in 2024. Fast forward to 2026, there is as well another hike. In your arguments, you've mentioned repeatedly that you don't come, the advise government on how to handle this thing, and of course, while your party was here, they handled it differently. The question, therefore, is, but when APCB did all these things I just cited, they were not there. So naturally, naturally, the circumstances as it is now, or as they are now, not only the same as to how it be day for in time. So do you think that it is really fair, for us to, brand these governments and their efforts as nothing, for lack of a better word?
So just from his statement, say APC, they all in trouble. That means say government fits we let them come all or carry on with government. So the
but these are global.
No, what happened? So let me just come in. I want to go back in 2008. There was a global crisis of which fuel rose to $147 per barrel in 2008. Fuel now this country, 3,750. This now the Terry Francis Ben Kelfala then come out Renaissance movement and demonstrate when you go to 3,750. In 2008, you don't go to the highest. But all this war with Iran, it never passed $118 yet. When in the round of the fuel go 60,000 per liter. You understand? At that time in 2008, so I want to go back. We had the Ebola crisis in this country. We shut the whole country down. It shut everything down. Fuel not ever past 6,000. If you go back in 2019, when this government do the first increase from 6,000 to 8,000, I came out, I advised. Not that we are opposing, because if fuel go up, APC, SLPP, all man they buy the same price, all man they suffer. All goods and services they go. One thing what we do as a government, when we're in, when we get in crisis and the government, all in small, we get inside the fuel, the pricing formula, we they suspend that, we they pull them. The one day where we they rent the tanks and to where they take care of the tanks and the storage tanks, we they tell us, okay, get a contract with now for 2 years. Until less 6 months for the contract, we have another 2 months to go 8 months. So for the next 2 months, we pay on nothing. Now we pull them inside the fuel price. So that way they keep them stable. When the crisis go down, when the fuel price go down, you creep that then charges and they come inside. Then one thing where we they do is you find, if you want, you get people where they do business. You get serious people where they do business. Just like when you get your host. You know, a family man, you can afford. You buy rest by bag you time. You know for they go buy every day, go buy 2 cup. Every day you send you picking for go buy 2 cup because you get for go school. That picking they go buy 2 cup, he come before they can cook, you get for go school. So what I'm saying is, them fuel dealers, if they're not able to face 20, 30,000 metric ton. Let them pay one transportation cost, one insurance freight cost and all. Let them put them together. They do one import, like what in Guinea they do, right? Guinea with all that population of one person import, and one then the import. SONAP. When the vessel comes, connects, then pump na connects and tank. Nana telco, then pump na nana telco, then tank. NP, then pump na tank. That's what happens in Guinea because I don't know work with SONAP there for a very long time, so I understand the system.
Okay.
But Salon, we want for help with brothers them. No doubt. We want them with brothers and take over the market. But if they're not reach the level for make the import that huge quantity, bring them together. No kind of that is one. Two, I bet you for the past almost years, Salon, you know how they buy fuel? They buy the high seas. Them vessels, the way they pass with 60, 80,000 metric ton, my brother no go know that. Me then at the field one, I make I tell her where the pass with.
Yeah, but he's in government.
Forget about government. Not all modern government know everything in this because I'm involved in it. If I was in government, I was not involved in field business. I don't know this. You get vessel them where they carry 40, 50,000 metric ton. Sometimes they don't go. They go supply in Ivory Coast. When they supply in Ivory Coast, maybe they get 8,000 or 5,000 on the vessel. You understand? Then now they come now, so they can supply 3,000 and all. That is what is happening. I bet me brother, let go to an oil market until they get meeting. Let if one grain one, we don't take the order from the Arab world. All the one the way they take, all the fuel they take, they buy from the sub-region. And they challenge that. Now from the sub-region. And the other problem to fuel in this country, Standards Bureau, now another institution we not so they're not serious, but they're not serious at all. The quality of fuel, we get this great. You buy brand new motor car today, begin driver, begin pump with fuel. After 2-3 months, you check engine lights, they come on. Okay. Because of the moisture percentage on the fuel, and the fuel is dirty. You understand? So that fuel where they sell in Guinea, the quality where they sell in Guinea and the other they sell now is completely different. Ours is cheaper. Okay. The one where they sell in America and the other they sell now is completely different. No. America will go find in trouble. When Iran actually get this war, fuel price in America is $4.
By your estimation, in all of
now fuel price in also per gallon it's over $8.
So by your estimation and all of the arguments, then we don't put forward, I think this one a pretty straightforward question. How much would you rather fuel be sold at this time, given all waiting they happen in between?
At this particular time, for my calculation, yes. At this particular time, fuel should not be more than 22,000 leons. Okay. Then pull all the subsidy, all the after charges, freight charge, jetty charge, storage charge, marketing, all them things, and then pull on. It should not be more than 22,000. Okay. Then when this war done, when you go down back, government can creep all them things in the coming. Yes.
Okay. Jawad, of course, government imposition at global prices and other factors then don't they affect the whole thing. But yet, the Bank of Sierra Leone, they're auctioning 50 million to fuel importers then. I think this was in the last quarter of 2025, not so. The point is, who side this particular money has to go? Because we know the parallel market rates, then they not don't change. The real problem when the thing's supposed to solve, we haven't seen solutions in that regard. So $50 million, it was auctioned for make things better. That is on the one side. And this, another one as well. Now the fact that when you don't remove subsidy, as governments did, they removed the implicit subsidy where they pay and fuel prior to this time. Roughly, government supposed to get about 122 billion a year where they're able to save due to that subsidy removal. Correct me if I'm wrong, I have not heard of any cash transfer to transport unions, for example. We're going to ensure say they bring the transportation done and make it easy for all the people them. So 120 billion a year, $50 million, that was auction. Where their money then they, what role then they play at this time?
I'm happy you asked that question there because this goes back and look, the reason why we get the benefit of experience now because we've seen 2 global crises. We don't deal with them very well. And we believe, say, this other threat we get from make them a triple threat is also something we can deal with very well. And in the long run, people will see that particular result.
Okay.
And one of the ways that we don't deal with them in the past, now that you want for also provide, from time to time, you provide foreign exchange for marketers. But it's not just oil marketers, it's basically people that are major importers of commodities, because of forex. Then therefore take for like go buy them products, and you want to make sure say it is available for them. And so money goes into that. And that's why you have a situation where it is not easy for you actually say, oh, there is a certain commodity we will all use, whether it's sugar, whether it's rice, whether it's flour, or whether it's even petrol, like you say, is shorting. Consider from December, where they mentioned, to April now, which is a 4-month period, right? So that constant availability in itself is a major success. Because you know what's at the worst thing will go happen? If now when you come on the streets every single week, you see people in to line for buy rice. There was a time at this control and it happen. You see people in to line for buy flour, you see people in fetch for buy sugar because it's not available. That is the worst case scenario, and we are averting all of that. And it comes back to, I think there's a second question we ask about, apart from the availability of the funds, you talk about the other question we just asked.
I also mentioned the implicit subsidy way government removed.
Okay, yes. So this is the thing as well. So the way subsidy work is as well. When you say we are going to put a line of subsidy in the formula, it means that these people are going to come at the end of the month and say, now this is sell. So that extra way you say you put, you pay them in cash.
Okay.
So basically what they are doing now, it's then they send down them profit down the road.
Okay.
In a way, of course. So hopefully, but also I want to let also everybody understand. Say this is just the first of a broader intervention.
Okay.
Because like we beat COVID, like we beat the Russia-Ukraine war, we developed an economic program, and that economic program they would go get funding for it, most likely grants, and that grants now they inject as a subsidy in several places. But it's not just subsidy across the board. It's also things like social protection for the most vulnerable people. There was a time here in COVID where government cover salary for over 35,000 workers in the hospitality sector for at least 3 months, provide cash transfers to over 11,000 people. So all of them money there will be done generate, but all of them as well are part of the economic response program we'll put together for them to tackle then that huge impact it gets on the ordinary man in life.
Okay.
And this situation is not different. The approach will also be the same. As I speak right now, we don't develop a comprehensive economic program. In the next few weeks, you therefore hear from the Minister of Finance and of course from different government ministers as well regarding waiting at the major interventions the way the government get for do across different sectors there. Because let's not forget, today the argument is about petroleum. But I tell you now, to petroleum are the only thing we get for shorting at some point. God forbid if the war not done quick. You have things like fertilizer. We're concerned with right now. Okay. Because we are now moving to a period when a planting season for most farmers. This is the month where they forget fertilizer. And then fertilizers are stocked in the Strait of Hormuz. 1/3 of the world supply for urea and they pass.
Okay.
So we now as a government, part of their interventions are for think, how can we ensure we get supply of fertilizer here in time for the planting season?
Okay, before we come to fertilizer, I still...
But like I said, that's just one of so many things, and we also look into a number of other programs. For example, government programs like school feeding, therefore be much more expensive. Okay, so and that deficit is a deficit that we have to find a way to cover, and we are committed to that.
Fair enough, Jawad. But you see, I made specific reference to the 50 million will be auction. The reason being...
So can I come on the 50 million?
The argument when government put forward then as to why no government wakes up one morning auction, their foreign exchange when they not get plenty. But they said they did it because this will help whatever they get from them for save the people. This was done in the last quarter of last year. And this is not the very first quarter. And we are being hit by this. One for expect to say, that auction where we do, whatever we had from it, should be one of the things when they come in for we during this time. Maybe with transportation costs, for example.
No. So here is how that auction works. Let me just give you how it works. So they put the money up, and then different businesses, different importers, they import several things, not just petroleum, by the way.
So that was not on fuel alone?
No, it's on several people. Some man, they already they bring can, some man flour, they bring can, some man sugar, some man machinery, they bring can. Several people. Let's not forget, this is an economy where they grow. Over the last 8 years, the economy don't grow in two folds. We have huge businesses that are coming in. We have local businesses that are also sprawling up. And they're all then in high demand for products. So it means every time there's an auction, they will go and they will buy it. And so, of course, we are not privy to the knowledge of who bought what or how much amount to buy. But because they could go and buy, it means that extra that they buy, and I make right now, we don't have shortage of any of we commodities.
Okay.
We don't have any form of shortage. In fact, the only thing we'll argue over is our price, really. But we don't have a shortage of sugar. We don't have a shortage of onion. We don't have a shortage of any of the agricultural inputs, for example. And take into consideration as well, as a result of this, I want you also pay attention that as a government, revenue as well, they can drop small.
Okay.
Because waiting we project for the camp, because of all the instability in that region there as well, it means there are other risks as well for different people that will import different things there.
Okay.
They are not coming as fast as they should come. So if they know they can that tax will collect on them, it's not coming as much as it should. But in the midst of all of that, we're expenditure don't go up.
You've had the man. I mean, they're putting their foot strong on this. And you talk about storage where we just start. But Jawad, don't forget, that's not the problem as it is now. And maybe you could comment as well on the 15 million auction. I don't know if that in a process with the APC be followed.
Okay, I want to come in.
Go on.
Waiting me, brother, say on the dwindling of the revenue for the government. Yes, it's true. But I think for those promoting into that for no why that they happen. I'm a businessman, as I tell you.
Okay.
The costs, the excise duty and taxes are very, very high in our report. So people in the balance were attacking now, people ship through Guinea. I will tell you that. And vessels in the Canada Guinea much faster than you come now alone.
Okay.
Right? About in December, about solar systems from China, batteries and other things. Wait for Kamna Yaso, up to Osa Sidon, so this is April. It's not here. Some of the other company will buy other things and we ship them go Guinea. They don't get them stuff say from the end of February. Because of the volume of containers the way they go in Guinea, and everybody they go there and the costs are low. Okay. The custom, that is one. Two, for the cash transfer to people, and this one start long term. Now, controls start women in Naxa before President Nkrumah make chief of staff. They give vulnerable household cash transfer and all. Say slim Alibaba can continue. So this until don't they start not to now. Okay. From the global crisis then in 2008. Now we institute that we put on the Naxa. So it's not a new program. It's not a new phenomenon for cushioning the poor household. But the $50 million, you see, one person where this government allow. We left in position, I will tell you, is Professor Kelfala Kalon, the former bank governor. A lot of people don't know him. Me, I know him, I follow him. He's a very honest and generous man. Okay. And he know exactly what he do. A lot of people will criticize him because they don't know him. But guess what? If you go give $50 million to businesses, come on. Who are they go buy? Now private people and the banks and they go buy and keep on the hold them back on the street. All which they say as a businessman, if you want to make $50 million available to them, you understand? Do them in LCs or you do them in transfers. If you want to go buy a road in China, you understand? You come to the Salon Commercial Bank, then they make sure they do the transfer for you. So make sure that the goods way is supposed to come in, If now for the field dealer, then do them in LC, outside government will able cushion, as I tell you, now that way they them for do them in government want for do the subsidy, not to for go give them money. Okay. You understand? Waiting and they buy now, let them sell that way. When they're ready for go import the field, the prices there, we have a 10% margin or 15% margin. Government can come in, and not to say government they pay $1 day. Then they supply the field today, the boats come and check the quality. Then pump them within 45 days, then service that debt day. Then they pay on small within 45 days. So that's how government do about. You go put $50 million. Guess who that they buy them? Now the banks and then small commercial banks and they buy and give them money in the street. They recycle and they rackle and buy. So you find out that the impact will not be felt. So for go auction $50 million, if you watch the Terry Professor Kalon, do that money to business people. They transfer the money into their accounts over there. I followed Bank of Sierra Leone on that. You understand? But this particular term, trust me, no yield, no day, no benefits, no day, panandi.
Yeah,
now where you go give?
On this point, I don't think we've had a situation where any of the importers and tell anybody say na cash problem and gets.
No.
So we will not have that problem.
Jawad.
Because we've not had that problem, it means we are relatively on a stable footing.
Make I just come in. No, that I say they need to go by LCD, then say na pay then they pay. Then they do LC. Hold on.
Yeah.
But there are times if you want to go do LC, I'm not going to name any smaller bank. You want to go do LC, they cannot cough up $1 million right there. But with a bank like Salon Commercial Bank, they get a subsidiary bank in Germany. When they give the LC, the subsidiary bank in Germany, they respond and pay. I'm just telling you, I've dealt with them.
Even with the LC structure, like I say, all of this was built on predictability.
Jawad, you know,
that time we talk about Jawad, it's not workable anymore.
No, this is not predictability. The government they work on. The government they work on fair.
No,
you understand? Fair when they work on. They take the fair, the burden, the cost. You can't put on the people.
No,
don't do that.
No.
Expect say, oh, fair, they go up in the next 2 weeks. No, at this price now, so we go up the next 2 weeks. We go for pay this. No, wait, go. Now that's you say. Now that's what they do. They set the price for 2 weeks. So if you go up small, we not go change the price tomorrow. We not go change. Let them cut on the other things at the day.
No,
let them cut them down.
I think you miss the.
They are killing the people of this country. Transportation, they are picking them there for go school. Look, rest up and go.
Just because he exaggerates the problem.
I am not exaggerating it.
No. Just because he exaggerates the problem. No,
we don't have
the solution. Right now, what we have done.
If they're not controlling, they are bothering the people. It's killing the people.
Right now, what we have done, like I say, I mean, not to the loudest people and always the win argument. It's also come back to the point so they make. And we keep going around in circles.
I'm not.
No. You keep going around in circles.
20 points about the pricing formula, about the percentage of increase in fear will not commensurate. So waiting the platform work and the world.
You are not accounting for the unpredictability. And that certainty they now want to forgive everybody. We as a government, we could just come back and say, let's not forget say we are operating free market economy. So in our own case, what basically we are doing, now regulation no more will provide.
Okay.
And there is a limit to how much we can go without necessarily acting now as players in the markets. Because at the end of the day as well, like I say, you have to protect the people, you have to protect the businesses as well. And so this is what we are trying to say. And it means every time. And you know the one thing as well we also need for mention.
Please go ahead.
Government not take the decision for raise the price of fuel lightly, because we more than anybody else we know the ripple effect that it gets on the economy. But also government as well a huge buyer of fuel for MDAs, for run hospitals, for run public facilities, for military people, for operations, for police, across the board. Nobody know the way they buy fuel pass through. So it tells you if we take that decision for raise the price of fuel, it means that inversely your expenditure as well they considerably go up. And I don't think anybody in the right senses would just sit down and there is a simpler solution and say, oh no, let's just ignore the simpler solution and let's keep racking up more expenditure. Right? But take into consideration as well, these are coming into the year as well. We are doing fantastic. For the first time, we put this economy back into the growth trajectory. We are projected to grow, and with revenue as well, we project huge things as well for generate more revenue as well, support programs and more independently as well, and get us much more funding from the manufacturing sector to the agricultural sector as well. But all of that accounting there now has to be put on pause, because as things they happen right now, why should they do real-time calculation of how this therefore impact every metric code on set for for manage the economy? We're also looking at 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, maybe right up to the end of the year. What could happen with different things then? And that's the vision where anybody else out of that loop they perhaps not get. That's the vision maybe that I may not see. And it means, say, for example, just easy
No,
for
you get
for
wrong.
project simple
Jawad.
solutions. They say,
Jawad.
Because
Jawad,
what they don't have,
I think
you
you get.
not get the full picture.
Jawad,
anybody will get the full picture.
Jawad, you get them completely wrong.
And that full
Completely
picture,
wrong.
And that full picture,
if you listen from where they now,
that full picture,
I not hit the government as a government.
No, like I say,
they tell you say it's a unit under the government. We don't mismanage the sector. We're not PRA.
No,
we're not PRA.
No,
you understand? I not take the government. If I want to take the government as a whole on different things, I will take the government as a whole on different other things. I'll limit that to PRA. And PRA between you and I, PRA has mislead president. From pay to pay rape.
PRA has done a fantastic job. Look,
6,000 to 40,000 for fair. They say they don't do good job. Jawad, you talk about
PRA don't expand the sector. They don't expand.
What have they expanded? What have they built?
There are more players in the sector.
How you mean more players? The only new player we come at the sector. We come at the sector the last 8 years. Nazala.
No, but that's not
and
true.
Zala, they've been here as a contracting company doing other things. Like who?
No, but that's not
They've all been here. Call two.
No.
Me, they call them a name. No. Call two.
Aminata is just coming.
Aminata has been here from Liberia before then.
Yeah, when Aminata
in the last 8 years. Aminata came here in 2016. They gave them the tank at Klein Town. They were renovating their tanks.
Yes, so they are just coming to the market.
So
I just don't debunk that particular point.
What are the
but
new
also
players?
the point I also want from it. I also want to know as well. I also want to make the point that I mean I don't know Usai maybe Darami get some acts for grind with NPR. I don't know.
I not sabi nobody there.
But wait till the
I not sabi nobody. I not family. I not sabi nobody there. Then Tinapsu, I not sabi them.
There are more
I just read the documents so in the pool.
There are more players in the sector now. The petroleum, the petroleum sector now, a huge revenue generating institution as well now for the government as well.
Okay.
All of that under the tenure.
What's the US? What's the usage? They're not increasing usage.
They don't expand.
Now the same thing.
Storage. They don't expand. This is a bigger sector. Like any metric where you want for
tank
from now
that has not been there for the last 15 years.
It's not the same.
No, have they been the tank? All the tanks that are there, they had been there before.
Sir, it's not the same.
All the tanks that are there, they had been there.
You have to agree that it is wrong for say 8 years ago to now the petroleum sector has not expanded.
They don't build any tank.
No, but you have answered that question.
Government.
It has not. No, that's not true. That's not true.
What's in new way?
That's not true.
What's in new
You get more players in the industry.
Who that
you get more revenues in the industry.
What's the difference
as well.
in the player?
You have a sector now where you know they get fuel shortage every other week.
My brother,
there was a time in this country.
I accept there are more players. But the more players they don't come make things expensive to week. So which means the new approach has been wrong.
No, it's
not get less players who buy 6,000.
No,
I will get more players who buy 50,000.
I think you get an ask for grant with NPR.
No, I think gentlemen, let me come back in the studio. You see, I mean, I allowed you guys to go at it for a minute, but let me come back. Which role, as we try for wrap up now, where you think, say, the APC, you know, in the past, in terms of the fuel subsidy and policies, them way navigate, we actually don't play a role into today's vulnerability, or had it been that the government maintained how now be done with one, not for the reach stage?
Okay, always you will ask for, and for let government put the means and measures we go make feel not they go up and the people and because burden.
Let's put out how now be do one.
No, if they want for do them another way, as long as fear not go up on the people, you understand? Waiting at this is this. For bring a lot of players in coming, players, they all in stationary and Malador, the Connex, they all on the before German group, they all on the before. You understand? All what we are saying is big players that could bring enough product in country, let them know they charge the transportation cost on 3,000, 2,000, 5,000 metric tons and insurance where they bring burden on we. All what they say is the charges that we dig and the pricing formula. Let government just come in the jetty. Ask me, brother, who are they own the jetty? Who are they own the tanks in country? They've been leased by to people. Let them just put that burden in the force, then put the price down. After that, when this war done or the price and come back to $60-something, $50-something, then can cripple and come back in. That's what used to happen before in 2008, where fuel where the crude oil go to $147 a barrel. You understand? The APC then government, we take everything common, including storage charge and excise duty. We had problem with IMF. Now the maker say, sorry, World Bank, they dictate that for impose them. The then President Nkrumah said no. He said I'm not going to do them at this time. He said if I do this at this time, he said the burden will fall on the people. He said I'll find ways and means to pay. But as the situation calm down, then creep all them things and they come back in. So all what they say, me they can't point at anybody. Me not have nobody in a PR. I don't want their job. I don't want that to get there. All what they say is let them use some of them means and measures, yeah, because the people are suffering. Okay. The people then they die in a street, and all goods and services they go up. And one thing with government, where some people don't understand, all this way then they do, if government not cover them, pressure they can't fall on government because what's happen? Then they pay you 2 million loans. That 2 million loans should be 20 commodities. Now, when they increase fuel, so the value, the currency they devalue, that you 2 million loans, they begin by 16 commodity or 14 commodity. So they find out say things that we will get, you never get there now. But then they come and government, people then begin ask government for salary increase because the money not do for take care of it. And when they ask government for salary increase, if government increases salary, you understand? Let me say they increase them by 10%. It's a burden again on government. Government the extra way for get revenue.
Don't you think
that's all I'm saying.
Don't you think it is a little unfair that you ask for, you know, stagnancy, or maybe not stagnancy, but like let things remain the same when constantly there is a change in global phenomena in terms of oil price, you know, and all of these other uncertainties really happen. Don't you think it's unfair that you really tell these governments that no, let them reduce price and keep it that way when the things themselves
not to that. The plat price they cannot change it. The cost for transportation they cannot change it.
When ultimately they determine the fuel pump price.
Yes, the insurance cost they cannot change it. You understand? Then one day they come in. But things the way inside, like road maintenance charge, things like the jetty charge, storage charge. They have 15 and the markets in charge. They have 15 and the where we able controlling country. Now they immediately ask they can suspend them, then keep the price at the same way they. When the price go down again, after this one go down just now, then the crypto come back in.
What mentioned say they're already working with them people and they are.
My brother, the price we put just now, the PRA price, not to me make them. You see, I'm signed by PRA, not to me put them. Now then put all the line activities and the cost and points and they. So now then till and they will look at say, okay, this then can pull on, this then can pull on, this enable for torture, like the plat price enable torture. Cost and freight enable charge, insurance enable charge. The things enable charge, like the excise duty, 5%. That one has been dictated by World Bank because now they use for payback and World Bank loans them. Then they cannot touch it. So then things they can kill them. The things are able to touch, then pull them or they reduce them. Then they keep the price at the
okay, Jawad, what are the structural solutions then? As you said, the governments don't get a tough one with this one. You guys are meeting day in, day out. Waiting are some of the structural solutions then we will don't put in place, you know, for guarantee the protection of the people, economically at least.
Yeah, so structurally, like we say, the subsidy now just one of the many structural approach we use to this as well, because we now know, say, for example, all the permutations that will be made when the Minister of Finance began budget speech back in November was what's to come in 2026, within our targets them and the things that we aim for meet. We now know, say, some of them might be affected. How much it will be affected, we quite don't know yet, because it will be a rush for make a decision now, because you don't know how long the conflict therefore go on and the ripple effect it could have on so many sectors. So we approach for now the immediate approach now the subsidy. But beyond the subsidy, like you say, there's a much more comprehensive economic program that we don't put together already. We are going to make, we therefore finalize and negotiations on all of them as well in the coming weeks. And then it will be like a holistic approach across different sectors as well. Because you know, and for just approach one side, knowing that, okay, there's going to be another problem down the line and you come back with new measures. But across all of this as well, the immediate problem we'll get here now is petroleum. And that approach we don't take as well now for provide subsidy, for make sure, say, we cushion the impact on people as well. but also as well help as well independent players who are in that market as well for also survive.
Okay.
Because at this moment it's difficult for us to thrive. So once we do that, we want to see how long it will take. So the next 2 weeks back as well, we go sit down and review and see whether the subsidy is going to be expanded, because if the price go up as well, there are going to be conversations about how much more can you put as well as subsidy. So these are all negotiations we are having, and in every conversation of the guests, the people are at the center of the conversation there.
Okay.
And because they're at the center, it means that some of the time, yeah, you might get delays in, for example, for example, somebody will ask me, okay, we don't see price list for transportation yet. But that price list is coming because Minister of Transport not just go sit down and say, okay, if you run put now this and the price now. They have to sit with all of the independent transport players. Some man in Pura again, some man in Keke again, some man in truck again, some man in Upline they run, some man in Waterloo they run, some man in Lumley to Aberdeen they run. So all of them price metric and waiting investing in businesses as well has to be taken into consideration.
Okay.
And so for we as a government as a winner Comra, and because we winner Comra, we're in a tough position for cater for everybody, and so everybody not going to be happy. The same complaint way the ordinary man gets now, the same complaint where people that will get business when our oil markets, and the same similar complaints they get as well. That complaint is about survival.
Okay.
And so for we as well, this will be at the brunt of it as well, but we also share that cost of
just for clarity, the subsidy, was it just not just like how it be day before, or not just this time around? I am asking in terms of the effect on, before now there was subsidy, and then we had the whole thing with IMF, and based on the arguments them way government put
so
forward,
now the advice that we have now on subsidies is that we are going to be clear and transparent about it.
Okay.
We not just say, oh, okay, we subsidize, and then you don't know how we subsidize. So if you pay attention to the press release, we clearly put how much government is subsidized.
Okay.
And then as well, with the oil marketers, we add them in the formula. So, okay, we add and this. So it is there as a line, and you see them.
Okay.
So
and this document is public already?
Of course, the press release is public. And so that is it. So we are going to be clear and transparent about it.
Okay.
Because we've learned a lot of lessons down the road as well. You might have a situation where you have to pay some people more than how much you feel say for pay them. All of those things, you have to make sure so you don't run into those problems. Because as well, this also comes down to credibility. If we owe people them, we want for able to pay them, like we are doing with every partner, local or international.
Fair enough. Finally, Darami, you've had the points where Jawad has said that, of course, governments, na the parents, na kumbra. So since governments, na the mama, we'll turn now to the main opposition when I said mama. In this particular circumstance, the APC, na the main opposition. You have the highest number of seats after the SLPP in parliament and all. And that gets also a role in governance holistically. My question therefore is, what would the APC be doing for the people of Sierra Leone during this time for ensure that you keep these guys on their toes and you ensure that they are doing what is on paper and all of that thing? Who's going to play during this period?
Okay. Government Nakomra. When they say government Nakomra, not to the political party, not to yourself.
Of course.
APC is part APC is part of government.
Yeah, but now when I say when I know I'm the part of government for so.
Now we'll come to that. That's a story for another day. Please. Let me stick to this.
Jawad,
when I come back, sir.
Jawad, who want car with that topic? You look coming. When you want to talk about that, look coming.
I'm glad the way you say una say a part of government. I mean that's progress from where
we talk about
to
government. It's the executive, the legislative, the people, and everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
Let me make you understand one thing. Anything where they bother the people of this country, they bother we all.
Sure.
Anything where the people of this country they enjoy, we all they enjoy them. Field up. Jawad way there. I left for the week, government get 20 litre, I know do. Instead get for buying a station. Everybody they buy fuel, they buy them. So always we they ask, like the meeting the way say then they go. We not get access in the meeting, right? Just look at some of the pricing formula. Suggesting to you, minister, don't suggest them to the minister the way I know 2-3 of them, I will not name their names. Let me look at them lines there. if them price here they go up, we no one can bash at government only. We they bring solution as have been doing. Go check my post from 2018, 2019, because I don't depend on this field business. I don't give advice. I don't give advice. I don't give advice. But when you tell them miss the advice, you feel price they go up. They go up. All waiting with the see. When you do them, it they devalue your currency. All waiting they ask for. Some of them lines they let you know give the minister of transport boku work for do. They get plenty of things. Them local government, agriculture, minister, trade. All way to they look at. When I don't look at the pricing formula and advise, say, okay, let's get the charge. Who that in charge? Who that district go to? Then we get the company law engaging directly. This one for storage. Who storage and they use the tanks in. This one for this. Adjustment on this. If you look at the pricing formula for even convert the loans to dollar, there's a charge on it. Not me, by PRA. You understand? Even for convert the fuel from gallon to liter, just that conversion, there's a charge on that. So let me look at them line by line. Not that we are bash government. All they talk about, they talk about PRA. Now PRA, no matter call. I not call government, I not call President Bio. Now PRA, because now them pull this, now then they sit down, now then they share all this. Even though the Minister of Trade, they are above them, but now they're your responsibility. So we look at all the line and they, okay, well, you, when they take care of the jetty, we can cut you for the next 2-3 months, we they cut them by 50%. This, we they cut them by 30%. When you look at all the half cuts in there, you find out, say, it go make some loans, wherein they go able to keep the fuel price stable. Because when the fuel price continue to go up, mind you, the people, them all goods and services go up, the people are going to be angry. There's a tendency for anything to happen, and we don't want that. But this now we own country. I don't live overseas almost years. Me no want go no sayo. So me no want any run anything happen. So always through the advice, I don't come for attack the government. I come for proper solution. If you listen to always thing that they say, the reason why I make account the percentage of the increase within the last 2 or 3 months, and account the percentage of the increase in the plat price. Now for let the government and the president look at them. Just like I'm in car with the increase before on the rice, where they increase rest to 1 million something. When I begin Allah for that in the and all, and the price at metric ton at the world market, now it's still the same. You find out a government coming without them giving me the accolades. I mean, I don't need them, but they may give a job price can down to 640,000. Where they see the cartel where they happen. Now this country.
Okay.
So these are some of the things we bring come up. Not of let government can give me praise or give me medal. Okay. But now for let their eyes open, they look at them. So some one thing I Jawad don't listen. They only apply the formula. They just don't get ministers and say
just quickly before we go, and I'll bring Jawad as well on this. At any point in time, has the APC as the main opposition party in Sierra Leone, when I don't engage government agencies, for example, have you guys approached NPRA or PRA, for example, on all of these things that you just talked about? And you outlined so many suggestions and things like that. But I mean, just rolling them out here right now, not necessarily they give them to action. Have you offered this kind of strategic help to government in any of their instances? Well, you are also part of government in any case.
Time and day way a lot of things and
I'm talking about not you as an individual, but the APC as a
yes,
structure.
we all get people that we specialize in various sectors. Me by myself personally, from the party, I don't walk up to certain ministers and peers for go talk to them about certain things and other things and see how we can come in, make contributions quietly. The best they could do. 3 ministers are known him. Okay, Darami will call you, then take me number. They have never called back. I've done that. With this petroleum sector, the Tewe Bayoku, they as Minister of Trade, other people around there, I have gone there. Telling them that this and this and this. Other directors, they will engage there. I don't go meet them for talk to them and say, nah, this and this way they go. So you go above government too, you understand? They've never called back. Various other sectors, tourism sector, I've been there, some things they want to say about it. I went there, things they want to see, they never called back. So
Jawad, why are you guys, why don't they receive the help from the main opposition party?
Say from a Sierra Leonean.
Adekam, from the APC as a structure and all the things that they've been offering.
I think it's the wrong framing.
Have they been offering?
As we talk right now, so even with this global crisis, have you seen a press release from the APC? They talk about this global crisis, the impact, or even government response? No. The only two they care about are boycotts. They don't.
No, but that's why Darami
Jawad, I beg you. No. Talk about government, don't talk about APC.
No,
you talk
no,
about SLPP.
Because
as they don't abandon the government, all landing above. For arrangements, all things they go back.
Like I say, you ask me about the opposition and why you are not taking them.
Arguments there. Ask you directly about our constitution. If you want castrated APC, as they don't abandon the city of over the country, don't wreck the responsible government. No, they do that.
Gentlemen, I know I'm talking now. Gentlemen, no, we don't start fine. Let me
understand.
I know, sir,
you're a government official. You are not a class you as an SLP spokesperson. So now
yes, I mean,
that point is important.
Oh,
yes, please.
This is important because there are new words. They say the opposition is part of government.
Of course.
New words. So we ask if we need to get support from them or advice or help. No, we are not. Let me just be clear. There are structures where, for example, if the opposition wants, they could formally call the Minister of Trade and the Trade Committee in Parliament if they are in Parliament now and they're really passionate about it.
How long don't come to Parliament?
No.
They run the 7 years. How long they go to Parliament? 1 month ago.
So I'm saying,
they
could, the Trade Committee could say, you know what, based on all of this, they'll just call the Minister of Trade or even the Finance Committee, let's just call the Minister, let's have some explanation on these things, right? They could do that. Where are they?
And that has been happening.
Where are they?
I mean, I want to go to Parliament for sittings, and they make notes them to parliamentarians. I give them more than they bring and come. Always in this government, they are in opposition. Now 2-3 weeks they don't come out of Parliament. They don't need the 7-8 years. That's not happy. That's not happy.
They don't abandon them. Let's be clear about that.
Gentlemen,
I saw you as government official. Look, like you say SLBB. I want the SLBB spokesman come. Address as SLBB.
No, we have to also mention that.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
I mean, it's still a long work towards the reason being because I tell you, and this is just my own last bite. I think fuel, among several other things. Now, one something that the way we're not able for politicizing this country. Because it's not politics.
Yes.
It touches on all of our lives and livelihoods. That's how serious it is. Any other topic, I would keep myself outside and just allow you to go at it. But because I am also here, I'm a Sierra Leonean, I buy fuel and I pay transport. I get picking there, they go school. And you know, the list go on. Yeah. And we don't know how it only happened in the past. That's how important this particular conversation is. So we would end on that note. I would see that maybe it's high time we started Forget Family Meeting, you know, just so that we could have a headway. But plenty thank you to Abubakar Darami, we're a member of the Public Relations Unit of the All People's Congress, and of course Mohammed Jawad Nyale, we're a Strategic Communication Advisor now the Ministry of Information. The program where you don't watch now brutally frank. Until next week Sunday at exactly 7 p.m. where another edition will come to you. I've been your host, James Fortune. Stay glued.
Is brutally frank, showing every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Slik TV, channel 37, and streaming live on our Facebook page and official website.